Here's what Daryl Morey said on his opening statement. A tough season, not where we expected to be. We expect more. We really feel for the fans who put their heart and soul into this team, and we know we've let you down. I got to respect the honesty from Daryl Morey, and, I watched some of the clips, and I just want to say that I feel like I can tell that Daryl Morey absolutely hates doing this. This is a day that he dreads so much. He's not the kind of guy that likes to be in front of a camera or a microphone, and he sounds so nervous when he's up there, and then he has to come up here and basically admit that he did a terrible job this whole season. At least he's admitting that he did a terrible job this season. Okay, I guess there's that. At least he's not trying to just brush it off and be like, well, it was all injuries and we, dude, in February when he said we still feel like we're a playoff contender and if you squint, the Cleveland Cavaliers should fear us and some other bullshit, he was lying his ass off. There's no way he was telling the truth when he said that stuff. So I guess at least we got an honest Daryl Morey yesterday who said, some real stuff about how terrible the team looked. And it was, a lot of it was his fault. Daryl Morey said, I have to do a better job of putting a supporting cast around stars. See, I mean, look, to be fair, in his position right now, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? It doesn't really matter what he says. I'm going to have a negative reaction to it. So he's trying to be honest, but in being honest, I'm laughing because how the fuck are you a 15-year NBA GM? And you're saying, I have to do a better job of putting a supporting cast around stars. That is literally your job. Your entire job is to put a supporting cast around stars. I have to do a better job of doing my job. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is, guys. You were waiting for it. Here it is. At least he said it. At least he admitted it. Okay? This is what I've been saying this for 3 years now about this guy. This is what's funny about sports to me, man. Is that it just feels like the average Joe and the everyday average fan can figure this shit out in a week. And you got these dudes in suits that got here by rubbing elbows that can't figure the shit out. And they think they're geniuses, and they just might not be that smart. You know what I mean? Just because somebody's in an important position doesn't mean that they actually know what they're doing. Daryl Morey says he invested too much in veterans with playoff experience this season without thinking enough about getting to the playoffs. That's the first time I read that. Oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. I can't breathe. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Did I not say three games into the season when everybody's like, hey, they're waiting for the playoffs, and I was like, you're not going to make the playoffs! Bro, I was screaming this the first week of the season. They're resting Joel for the play. You have to make the fucking playoffs! This guy just admitted that he put a bunch of 40-year-old buyouts on a basketball team without thinking about how they're going to get to the playoffs. And how... Dude, I was here I am again. I was like, I'm going to read this. I'm going to be calm about it. I'm going to keep a very even perspective. There's no point in yelling about it because I already know what he's going to say. Blah, blah, blah. Here I am screaming. Is this not like when a president of basketball and a Elton Brand GM, I guess, and somebody else, Nick Nurse is probably in the room, when they're all in there deciding what players they're going to sign in the offseason, right? Is there not a team of people? How is there not a team of people? How is there not somebody that's like, hey, you know, a lot of these teams are really young and really athletic. And we also need to mix in like young athletes with size to fill in the blanks and rebound, transition defense, perimeter defense. You know, you can't just sign, extend Joel Embiid, max out Paul George, and put, Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, Reggie Jackson, and Andre Drummond on the team. Like, bro, the fact that he admitted that, it just... How does he have no idea what he's doing? How does a president of basketball operations sign all of those old guys? Everybody gets hurt. Everybody misses the playoffs. And then he says, yeah, I was focused too much on experience and I actually fucking forgot that you have to be good enough to make the playoffs. Daryl Morey says he didn't set the tone well for the group going into the season. I don't know what that means. He says himself and Nick Nurse will take a step back for a few days and evaluate everything, but both Morey and Nurse will be back next season. I just pray to God that that's not true. Because of all the things I just said. It just does not feel like this guy has any clue what he's doing. Why is he going to be back? Why? And why should the fans believe that the same thing isn't going to happen? And again, I'm saying it again. I believe the 76ers are now just a Josh Harris tax break. Business loss, tax break. If they lost $100 million in revenue, tax break. I know a guy that owns 3 restaurants. Okay? One of them is in Anvil, PA, and it's been a piece of shit for a long time. There's nobody there, and he doesn't try to get anybody there. And another guy that I know who's a financial expert told me he just has it to use it as a business loss tax write-off. So now I'm seeing the same thing, and I just feel like Josh Harris is buying football teams and hockey teams and all this shit. And he doesn't give a fuck. Let the Sixers franchise die. I'll just keep claiming more and more business loss, tax write-off, tax break, tax break, tax break. The Sixers are Josh Harris's failing restaurant that he's just using as a major tax break. Anyway, yeah. What else? Daryl Morey says the Sixers are better off than most teams with these sorts of seasons because they're a collection of draft picks and younger players. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. That's what I said about the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. I agree with that. Daryl Morey says he's excited for Quentin Grimes to come back and says the team has positioned itself to bring him back, adding that he's a very good fit with Maxey, George, and Embiid. I agree with that. He didn't mention Jared McCain here, and Jared McCain was a rookie. He mentioned the 3 max contract guys, so I'm not saying he intentionally left Jared McCain out. But I'm kind of, oh God. What would you guys do if Daryl Morey traded Jared McCain this offseason? Daryl Morey says Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. Well, I mean, what's he gonna say? No. Somebody asked him what questions are you reporters really asking? Somebody asked him if they're gonna be healthy next season. Yeah. Okay. Yes, we expect them to be healthy. I just think it's insane that I was like, they can't actually just be like, hey guys, we're going to try the same thing, except this time everyone's going to be healthy. They can't actually expect that to work, right? As far as getting fans to come back, you know the season ticket holders got scammed out of their money last year. You know the 76ers knew Joel Embiid was injured. They didn't tell anyone. They told everyone he was ramping up. They sold all the season tickets. Then they got fined by the NBA for lying about his injury. They scammed season ticket holders last year. And if I spent 10 or 20 grand on season tickets, I'd be suing these motherfuckers. I'm dead serious, bro. I would be suing these people for my money back at least. I just can't believe that they're like, we're going to try the same thing and everyone's going to be healthy this time. Please come back. I don't know. Wild. Morey says, if everything sets up well, we'll have a younger, more dynamic roster around a healthy Joel, Tyrese, and Paul. Again, like, if healthy. If healthy. You know what I mean? If he, you know, goes a little bit younger with the role players. If Nick Nurse, I don't know, goes to the fucking Wizard of Oz and gets a brain and understands how to play younger players, then yeah, on paper, it can be a very deep, good team. If healthy. If healthy. Text your boss right now. Hey, man, I will be in tomorrow if healthy. It's just, I can't believe they're going to try to sell this. It's going to be it's just hard to believe. It's hard for anybody to take any of these people seriously. And it's wild. Morey said, for me personally, it's obviously the toughest season of my career. I'll spend every waking hour figuring out how to turn this team around going into next season. All right, buddy. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. I hope you do. I hope you. I mean, I'm going to try this time. Is that what you're saying? I'm going to try this time. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to try a little harder this time. We know Embiid is an MVP level talent, and that requires a team to take aggressive moves to upgrade its talent in that window. I want to say this about Joel Embiid. He just turned 31. He does have repetitive knee issues, surgeries, and so on. And I've said for a long time now, I don't see him getting back to MVP level. I don't see him getting back healthy. I don't see it. Kawhi Leonard is playing right now at 33 years old. After multiple knee surgeries, after multiple, failed attempts to come back with knee swelling, etc. Kawhi Leonard is not 7'2", 300 pounds. Kawhi Leonard is 6'6", and is in incredible shape. The odds are very much against Joel Embiid of returning healthy. The odds are very much against Joel Embiid coming back like Kawhi Leonard came back. And we don't even know if Kawhi Leonard lasts the playoffs because he came back last year and was out the first round again with knee swelling and was done. But if I'm looking at it if I compare it to the Kawhi Leonard thing, it's possible, but also probably not. Yeah. Daryl Morey says he feels very good about the 2020 trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Talks about how good Danny Green was with the Sixers. He believes he had to get rid of Al Horford. Anyone that talks about that is just going hindsight is 2020. Daryl Morey says the Sixers loved what Gershon Yabusele brought this year. Credits the scouting department, coaching staff. Believes moving forward, his role will be different positionally, and they would like to retain him. His role will be different positionally. He's a power forward. He was always a power forward. Everybody knows he's a power forward. The only person on planet Earth that thought Gershon Yabusele was a center was Nick Nurse. I mean, bro, how do you not, you know what I mean? And this team, not only is there a lot of things they need to change, they gotta stop the politics, man. They gotta stop the buddy best friend politics bullshit. They gotta stop it. You have to stop it, Nick Nurse. If you're coming back, you gotta stop the politics. You gotta stop the favoritism, bro. Play the players that give you a better chance. Because from day one, you saw Gershon Yabusele is not a center. He can't guard the rim, and he can't jump, and he's only 6'8". Andre Drummond can't guard the rim. So without Joel Embiid, what did you do? Did you go to 6'10", a Dembona who can block the shot off the top of the fucking backboard if he wants to? No, of course you didn't. And then guess what? Since March 10th, he's leading the NBA in blocks per game, 2.5 blocks per game. Oh, not rocket science. Hey, Eastwood, is what you're talking about rocket science, bro? Because it sounds so fucking complicated. This shit is so simple, dude. It's so simple. Did Daryl Morey ask AI to run it back? Is Paul George going to run back his podcast? Paul George's podcast is done. There's no coming back for Paul George's podcast.